Today was Sir Keir Starmer's worst day as Prime Minister. He's currently so toxic that polonium looks at him and runs away.
Imagine a leader barely in power yet already facing an unprecedented collapse in public trust. A leader who went into the heartland hoping to win back the disillusion only to be ambushed by the very people he sought to impress. What happens when the carefully constructed image of a political savior shatters, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and unfulfilled promises? The political landscape is shifting and the tremors are being felt across the nation. From the heart of the Red Wall to the hallowed halls of Westminster, a growing sense of disillusionment is taking hold. Voters are questioning who truly represents them, who understands their struggles, and who ultimately can be trusted with their future. This isn't just about policy, it's about authenticity, credibility, and the very soul of political leadership.
The latest poll put Reform about 10 points ahead, and he's lost the Red Wall. So his team of crack advisors said, go to the Red Wall, win them back, slag off Nigel Farage. They'll love that, Sir Keir. Here's what happened.
I've got Peter from The Guardian.
Do you think one of the problems is that Nigel Farage can approximate talking like a human being, where you just resort to talking points and dodging questions?
He's lost The Guardian.
Reform UK say you're running scared of them, that you're sounding increasingly like them with some of the policies and announcements you've made recently. This is a speech that was very defensive, wasn't it?
He's lost Sky News.
Let me go to Chris Hope. Chris
Hope, GB News. Prime Minister Nigel Farage has 5 MPs, you've got 403. Are you panicking because Reform is so far ahead in the polls, it seems? Is he living rent-free in your brain? You went to a state school, your dad worked in a factory, your mum worked in the NHS, so why has a public school-educated former city trader got more in common with the Red Wall than you have?
The sheer audacity of K-Star's team sending him into the Red Wall, the very constituencies Labour supposedly lost, only for him to be utterly savaged by the press, is a testament to their colossal miscalculation. The Guardian, Sky News, and GB News all tore him up. One journalist hit the nail on the head, asking if karma simply can't talk like a human being compared to Nigel Farage. This wasn't just a bad day, it was a public execution. He looked shell-shocked, cornered, and completely out of his depth. How can a leader claim to understand the working class when he's met with such open hostility even from the media that once gave him a free pass? The question isn't just if he's panicking, but if he even understands why he's losing.
He's got Nigel Farage living rent-free in his head, and just in case he wasn't absolutely sure, he's being told how unpopular he is.
The speed of the decline in your popularity is historically unprecedented. Isn't this speech today an admission that you have failed and Nigel Farage understands voters better than you?
The repeated mentions of Nigel Farage by Keir Starmer, captured in a devastating clip of him saying, Nigel Farage countless times, expose a deeper strategic failure. Matthew Laza's immediate reaction, Matthew's rattle, isn't he, speaks volumes. While Labour MPs might have been happy to hear and come out fighting, this isn't fighting, it's obsessive name-dropping. The argument that Farage's plans are unfunded and about taking down a few pride flags is a desperate, unconvincing attack. Instead of focusing on his own vision for the country, Starmer made Farage the central figure of his speech, thereby making him more significant than ever. Why would a prime minister give his political rivals so much airtime, effectively validating his importance?
You went into the election promising to freeze national insurance and keep the two-child benefit cap. You've since raised national insurance on businesses and now you're considering axing the cap. Isn't attacking Nigel Farage's economic credibility a bit rich?
Yikes. And then, after all that, he has the temerity to say that he's more trustworthy than Nigel Farage.
And that's the question you have to ask about Nigel Farage. Can you trust him? Can you trust him with your future?
Starmer attempt to paint Nigel Farage as economically untrustworthy backfires spectacularly. The very journalist who brought it up pointed out the glaring hypocrisy. You went into the election promising to freeze national insurance and keep the two-child benefit cap. You since raised national insurance on businesses, and now you're considering axing the cap. Isn't attacking Nigel Farage's economic credibility a bit rich? This isn't just a gaffe, it's a betrayal of trust. Starmer lectured about unfunded spending when his promises are crumbling around him. Pensioners, farmers, business owners, and anyone who cares about financial stability and honest governance must be shaking their heads. How can he ask the public to trust him with their future, their jobs, or their mortgages when his word seems to be worth so little? This isn't just about policy, it's about the very foundation of his leadership, credibility.
Pensioners, farmers, business owners, people who care about not giving away British sovereign territory, people who pay energy bills, the disabled, private school parents, just some of the people who might feel as though Sir Keir Starmer hasn't been entirely honest with them in his first 10 months as PM. And all he's got now is to try and say how working class he is.
Like Nigel Farage, I know what it's like growing up in a cost of living crisis. I know what it's like when your family can't pay the bills, when you fear the postman and the bills that may be brought.
A former Labour Party advisor, Matthew Lazzara, admits he's completely surprised that the press have turned on him. He states, "One of the features, I believe, of Starmer's premiership and before he was prime minister is that the press have been very, very gentle with him. Very gentle. And what went on in that room today, I thought was a complete irreversal of where they've been up till now. This is a damning admission. Starr enjoyed a free ride and now the gloves are off. If the media continues this scrutiny, Liza believes Keir Starmer could go. This isn't just a tough day. It's a fundamental shift in how the political establishment perceives him. The weight of expectations and internal party dissent over issues like the two-child benefit situation are now starting to crush him. Has the media finally woken up to the reality of his leadership, or is this just the beginning of a sustained attack?
Look, nothing screams being in touch with the public like delivering a series of speeches in secure, sterile locations surrounded by security. He can't go and meet working class people because this happens.
That man is not allowed in my pub. Get out of my pub. Go on. Get out of my pub.
The sheer cringe-worthiness of Keir Starmer's attempts to portray himself as a working-class hero is astounding. I know what it's like growing up in a cost of living crisis. I know what it's like when your family can't pay the bills, when you fear the postman and the bills that may be. This manufactured empathy rings hollow, especially when he's delivering these speeches in secure, sterile locations surrounded by security. This isn't the grit and authenticity the red wall demands. It's a political pantomime, the ultimate indictment, the viral clip of a pub owner yelling, "That man is not allowed in my pub. Get out of my pub. Go on, get out of my pub." This isn't just a bad optical, it's a devastating symbol of his complete disconnect from the very people he claims to understand. What kind of leader needs security to meet the public and then gets thrown out of a pub?
So I'm the opposite. I'm completely surprised that the press have turned on him. One of the features, I believe, of Starmer's premiership and before he was Prime Minister is that the press have been very, very gentle with him, very gentle. And what went on in that room today, I thought, was a complete reversal of where they've been up till now. If they keep that pressure on, I think he could go. The problem with having so many MPs is that they can form really big clumps and come after him. And with a two-child benefit situation, I think he could be in trouble. And with the winter fuel, you've seen where it is. I think everybody now is hounding him.
Jaw drops a political bombshell. Up until now, reform has been a Tory problem. It's been a problem for the Tories, and now going to become a problem for Labour. This isn't just about Reform UK eating into Conservative votes anymore. It's about a fundamental realignment of British politics. The suggestion that this is so bad for the Tory party is quickly overshadowed by the chilling realization that Labour is next in the firing line. What happens when the traditional left-right divide blurs and a populist force like Reform UK starts siphoning off disillusioned Labour voters? Hello, I'm Manu in an interview with Person. You refused 14 times to answer if you took drugs. Could you clarify this, farmer, or is this the beginning of Labour's own existential crisis? So there you have it, a leader in crisis, exposed by his own strategic missteps and a profound disconnect from the very people he purports to serve. The red wall is raging, the media has turned, and a populist outsider is gaining ground. Living rent-free in the Prime Minister's head, Karma's attempts to portray himself as a man of the people have been torn apart, revealing a stark truth. Authenticity matters more than ever. The question isn't just whether he can rebuild trust, but whether the public has already decided his fate. Will this be the beginning of the end, or can he somehow pull a rabbit out of the hat? Only time will tell, but one thing is clear, the political landscape has been irrevocably altered and the battle for the soul of the nation has just begun. What do you think? Has Karma sealed his own political fate? Let us know in the comments below.